The science of forgiveness and understanding what it is, what it was meant to be, and how people understood it. In the Bible, Jesus is having a conversation and he tells Peter 70 times 7 when it comes to forgiving. 70 times 7, not just 7. The word forgiveness is made up of two words, forward and given. Forward and giving. Because the masters understood that when the little ones, the beginners, the novice, those who were just finding the path, they knew that they would make mistakes. And those mistakes were built in. They were built into the process. Finding the path was hard enough, but understanding how narrow the path is, how hard it is to find it and stay on it, those masters understood because they also started at the beginning of the path. And they too made mistakes. So the grace of forgiveness, forward giving, is already built in. Society today teaches us that we have to earn it, work for it, build it up, beg for it. Not true. Those who understand the real truth of what forgiveness is understands that learning is a process. Building is a process. Understanding is a process. In all thy getting, get understanding. Understanding is a process. 70 times 7. In the Eastern mysticism, we know that 7 represents divine intervention. Now, some will say 7 is the number of perfection. It is the path. It is divine intervention, meaning you found the path. That's the 7. That is the 7 that Peter was asking about. That is the 7 that Jesus, the Christ, acknowledged. But he said 70 times 7, understanding that there is a finding of the path and there is a completing of the path. The path is 0, God, perfection, completion. When you find the path represents 7. The 0 represents completion. So the 7 gets a 0, which represents the completed path. That is perfection. That's why it's 70 times 7. 7 is the start, 70 is the completion. And so building that knowledge in and understanding that those who are neophytes, those people who are disciples, those people who are at the beginning, the initiates, those who are learning, are going to fall. They're going to slip. It's expected. It's built in. They're always asking the questions, what happens if this happens? How do we correct this? How do we make this better? Why? Because the masters understand that they do not want you to fail to be perfect. So they built the mistakes in. It's built into the knowledge that you will fall, that you will make mistakes, But their message is stay on the path, stay on the path, stay on the path. Because once you're off the path, it's hard to find it again, especially when there's no one encouraging you to find it again. When a child learns to walk, the child has super grip, and he's hanging on to your thumbs with both hands, and you're trying to get him to feel his feet, but he don't feel his feet. His knees just keep curling up, and he just keeps going to the floor. And you don't go, why won't you stand up? He's a baby. It's built in. And you don't mind. You love it. You just bounce him around and carry him around because his grace is built in. He's a child. You understand that. And you love it. You bond with him and carry him and hold him and love on him and bounce him on his toes until one day it's a big deal because he can feel his knees. He can feel his legs. His legs are getting stronger. That is how life is supposed to work. We're supposed to constantly be coming forward, constantly moving to the better. Every day coming forward, not being stuck in the past. But what happens? Society loves to live in the past. It wants you to live in the stumble. It wants to make the stumble your destination. But you have to fight. You have to understand that the forgiveness is already built in. It was forgiven you. And for those who say you can't be forgiven, they lack knowledge. They lack understanding. They're speaking to you from evil, from a low-natured mind, from animalistic nature, from the carnal man. Don't listen to them. Forgive yourself and understand that you can. It is the higher man who forgives the lower man. Once you were that low-natured person, and you're not anymore. You, as the higher, can forgive the lower in yourself and continue to move forward. This is evident by your thoughts, by your actions. Forgive yourself. Remember who you are. Call yourself by proper identities, not by negative ones, and live in those identities. And that is a process. To be remembered has nothing to do with the past. To be remembered has everything to do with the present and the future. Knowing what you were in the past can be changed, can be remembered, which means it can be seen, identified, and then rebuilt. If what you want to be is not what you are, remember it. Take it apart, piece by piece, and rebuild you as you see yourself to be. physician, heal thyself. How? You have the skill. You know how to do it. So just do it. This is something that I have been working on for years, about 20 years now. Remembering, understanding, seeing, identifying, and knowing what it should be and how to get it there. The stumble is not the destination. The stumble is an opportunity to get back on the path. The masters love to see the stumble because they know if you stumble at step 2, when you come back to step 2, you're not going to stumble. The mother loves to see the baby get back up, and the baby falls and start crawling and make it to the couch and stands up again and starts walking while holding on to the couch. It's a beautiful thing. It's progress. We see it. We love it. And the father sits and watches the child. He doesn't intervene because he wants to see if the child can walk by himself. The grace is already given. The forgiveness is already built in. Just go. Just try it. Just do it. We know you can. That's what's missing in society, but in us as well. Because we stop believing in ourselves and we start looking outside of us to get that validation from someone else who has not remembered themselves. And they're trying to get validation from someone who is trying to get validation from someone. And we understand how we got here. The thing is not to remain here. This is a journey, and we're on it. And understanding that forgiveness is forgiven. It's preloaded, not earned after failure. It's earned before you ever get started. Do not let the stumble become your destination. Your destination is perfection. When you find the path, that divine intervention, that's great. It's a good place to start. But remember, you're on a path, and we need to continue the process. We owe it to the great ones who mastered these teachings and authored these teachings, not the people who are teaching the limitations of these teachings. Understand who you are and remember who you are. And you must remember to remember the future, not the past. My name is Ahmad Blakemore. This is Remembered TV, and I will see you on the next one. Blessings. Bye-bye.